Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Orange Zeppelin, and today I'm going to be doing something that I debated a little bit on if I actually was going to do. But just the other day I was watching some other creators on YouTube do sketchbook tours, and I've decided we're going to do it. I'm going to be cracking open my last completed sketchbook and sharing the contents with you guys. Let me give you a better look at the cover. We got my boy Eddie of Iron Maiden. I should have worn my Iron Maiden shirt. I wore my clown shirt instead, maybe because that's how I feel today. But you can see at my top corner here, I have noted approximately how long it took me to complete the sketchbook. Usually I do number these. I'm kind of surprised I didn't, but you can see this is about a 2-year span of time, which feels like a really long time for sketchbooks. That's kind of been part of the course for me. Also, I have a little note. Number 63. When I was much younger, and I'm talking middle school, I used to tear through a sketchbook, not like this, just like crappy lined paper notebooks, in maybe a month. So that's part of the reason I've gotten to the 63 page count. I used to just do one crappy little drawing a page, and now, as you're going to see, I try to cram as much bullshit onto a page as possible, which is part of the reason it's taken me longer. I also grabbed my sketchbook before that, number 62, just to show it. 2 years is kind of part of the course for me now, which it does seem slow to me. But I have done a ton of art just on paper that isn't my sketchbook. I used to always do basically all my art in my sketchbook, and then I switched to actually using better paper. I do a lot more paintings. I do a lot more comics. So the sketchbook is less of where all my art exists. It's more of this is the dumping ground for the unmitigated pit of chaos that is my brain, which I almost want to look through this one too, because I don't totally remember what's in here, which is might be a bad thing. I don't know what we're gonna see. I might skip over some stuff. If there's something that's gonna get me kicked off of YouTube, we're just gonna skip over that. There are some things in this sketchbook I wasn't sure if I wanted to show, but let's go ahead and crack these open. All right, so you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and crack open number 62, which this could be like playing Russian roulette, because I didn't look through it like I did my previous sketchbook. This is 2019 to 2021, so this is going to include the pandemic years, which I do actually think in some ways the pandemic was kind of a benefit for me as an artist. It was not a benefit to anyone in any other way, but it did kind of make me think about using my time a lot more wisely. When I started this, I was working at the teen center in my town. I actually did some doodles at work. I had another notebook that I was bringing to work just because it was smaller and easier to bring, but just a lot of random assorted sketching. This guy, I love how this turned out. So if you've ever read the Rama series, first book being Rendezvous with Rama, there are these creatures referred to as octo spiders, and initially they're kind of terrifying, and later on in the books you learn, okay, these guys are chill. Not the ones they meet initially, but they're these weird little not really octopus things, but I don't know how to describe it. This is what I'm envisioning. Just pretend this guy's actually really friendly and he communicates through flashing lights on his head. That's the deal with the octo spiders. Oh, we get some Paper Mario-esque stuff. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is one of my favorite games, so we're doing a little bit of a Paper Mario thing. I like these. I don't remember what they're called. Whatever the hell these enemies are. They're just fun. And then I got Wario. He does not show up in that game. He should. Wario is cool. You can get his outfit in the game. Well, this is like 4 entirely different things. I've got some beautiful sketches. I've got whatever that nonsense is. And I have pumpkin plans. So this, I think, is a really good description. Actually, there's even some, I got like pumpkin goobers on Frank Frazetta. That is Frank Frazetta, by the way. He was a handsome dude. Good looking man. Good rugged features. You can see, I had this out when I was carving pumpkins, and so there are little pumpkin goobers everywhere. But this is a good representation of what I normally do, which is, let's see how much bullshit we can cram onto a single page. This also includes some Inktober stuff. I think I spent so long on this sketchbook. We have multiple Inktobers. That mouse was not part of Inktober. He's just a fun little guy. I love that mouse. It actually turned out so cute. Actually, I can't show you what's on the top corner. That's not the best Toxic Avenger in the world. Actually, give me a second. Alright, here we go. This sketchbook, man, this has been so long that this sketch isn't even for this version of the painting. This is for the original incarnation of this painting that wasn't even that good. This is a redo, which I do have a video on my channel where you can watch me redo the entire thing, and I'm really glad I did. This looks significantly better than how it used to look. I am very happy that I did that. So here's some more Inktober, and this is one of the few times I've actually gotten dip pens to work. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know I have this constant battle with dip pens where it's like, nothing happens. It's just a giant blob and then nothing. I can't even get this to happen, and I don't know what my problem is, but it's kind of rage-inducing. This is what happens when I actually can get the pen to cooperate, which kind of neat, but not, I don't know, not really fantastic. This is why I like the refillable fountain pens. I like these suckers right here. Nice and convenient. You get the beauty of the nib. I don't remember what kind of pen I was using. I wonder if I was using dip pens for these also. I do not remember. This one, I actually went out into the world and observed a cow who basically posed for me for that piece. And then I think one of my favorite pieces of this year's Inktober, not this year that we're currently temporally in, but the Inktober we're watching, was this thylacine. I am super happy with how that turned out. I think the possum ended up a little scratchy. That's definitely a dip pen. Oh my goodness, this is how old this sketchbook is, because this is one of the original drawings. In fact, it might be the original drawing I did of my character Nighthawk. This is a plan for something that at the time I was super proud of, and I thought was the most amazing thing I'd ever drawn. Definitely I have gotten better since then, but I still really like the piece. And I'm gonna slap it in here. If we're coming across any sketches for something that I have the finished version of, I'm going to slap the finished version into the video so you can see basically the difference between the sketch and the finished piece. And we got some more Inktober. I do really like how that turned out. I just scribbled in with some probably Copic or Prismacolor markers, and then utilized that background so I could add in some white highlights. The vulture. Oh, I love how the baby birds turned out. Baby birds are definitely that kind of wretched looking in real life. I volunteered at a wildlife clinic. I've seen some baby birds. They are loud. It's actually very stressful to feed baby birds. If you're one of the people who works in the baby bird room, you got to have some ironclad nerves. You gotta be a patient soul. We get an ankylosaur, which is my favorite dinosaur because they are badass. And this bat, I like how the bat turned out. There's a lot of pieces I'm really happy with this particular Inktober. Oh my goodness. So this was going to be for the Mid-State Metal Fest. that was going to happen in 2020. We all know how everything in 2020 turned out. So it doesn't look like a whole lot, but this was like this craggy, mountainous border basically that I was creating, and this is where all the bands would be listed. I was going with mountains because locally we have a pretty famous mountain range and I wanted to utilize that in our design. And then I did have some other trees that were supposed to create like a skull pattern, maybe roots coming out of the skull. This would be this would be really cool to re-envision, just do something with it, but that was a tragedy. Oh, there's El Cucuy! If you're familiar with the band Metalachi. If you're an OG Metalachi fan, you'll remember El Cucuy was the original trumpet player. And he's a sexy, sexy man. So there's going to be some sexy Cucuy. He has reinvented himself as a new persona in a different band. We'll get to him at some point. I know he's in here. This doesn't look like a whole hell of a lot, but the finished piece actually ended up really interesting. I love collaborative comic projects, especially if they have to do with terrible Sonic the Hedgehog related media, which I know that's a very oddly specific niche. But me and some other people were redrawing, I guess it's a Sonic fan comic that has some level of notoriety, and it's not Sonichu. I have done plenty of Sonichu fan recreations. This is something else, and I didn't even remember. I was actually really glad that I got assigned a page with a background, because traditionally that's something I suck at, so they kind of forced me to get better at something. Oh, here's our Nighthawk sketches, baby. We got some booty. So Nighthawk, this is still true with the current character design, is he's got a little spot pattern on his back. He's got some ocelli, kind of like a leopard pattern. I just thought that made him look cool. This doesn't look like a whole hell of a lot, though I love that anteater, simple as he may be. I brought my sketchbook with me to the Santa Barbara Zoo on my birthday, and I didn't get a lot of sketching done. It was very busy that day, and I didn't really want to just park myself in a spot and be in people's way and just have all my art stuff out. And we didn't have a lot of time to just sit down and spend a lot of time observing and sketching, but I did sketch the anteater. He is a friend. I liked the vulture. He is also a friend. There's just like a lot of... Maybe I need to cover the wiener. I don't know. I'd have to cover the boobs also. I don't know. We just have some assorted anatomy studies, I guess. And there's my cat. I don't know what he's doing there. These guys, this is... I don't remember what these guys are called, but in like the John Carter series in Princess of Mars, there's these alien dudes that got 4 arms and they're super tall and crap. This is what I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna stick this many arms on one dude. This would be fun to redraw. This is a series I want to get back into. Can I show the boobs on the next page? Okay, there we go. This is going to be a continuing issue. This is what I said about having to skip some pages. And of course, her loincloth is pretty sheer. Is that a problem also? Well, this guy. Focus on this guy. I just accidentally knocked a bunch of my pens on the floor. I love how this guy turned out. So this is what I was talking about when I said we're going to see El Cucuy again, but in another persona. This is Mavero Duran of the band that is no longer called Charros of Rock. They are now called Outlaw Mariachi. This is the span of time that this sketchbook represents. Usually I don't spend this long on projects, but I did at some point do some Metalachi fan art that I actually had sitting unfinished for so long that their lineup changed and I had to shuffle around some of the band members. Oh my goodness, this is just some random sketches. Actually, Actually, this is my plan for what I ended up painting on my skateboard helmet. There's something I haven't done in a long time. I haven't skated in a good long while. But oh, there's my 2020 selfie. We were looking into such a bright, promising year. Oh, goodness gracious. But I do have a tradition of doing a self-portrait at the beginning of the year, every year, or at least at some point of the year. I do have my yearly self-portrait challenge actually goes back a pretty long time. But more recently, I've been specifically doing it as maybe even my first art piece of the whole year. And it's interesting to see how much they've changed, how much more effort I put into them every year. They get a lot more colorful, they get way more expressive. I also did, I don't know how long this piece in general took, but I decided to do the 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge. 10-minute me, and yet 10-second me is how I feel most days. Also, we got some Nighthawk up in here. He's actually my favorite character to draw in Whoa Awesome Space Babe, and I'm dangerously close to making the whole comic about him, which actually that kind of did happen. I've got a spin-off Whoa Awesome Space Babe comic that is entirely about Nighthawk that I've been working on for a while. We got some bunny girls and we have a muscle man. This is actually inspired by Dragon Quest Builders 2 of all games, because you can get like little bunny dancer outfits. You can make nightclubs. There's these guys. It's a fun game. This is something. This is Wretched Hamtaro. And I guess we would call these Hamtaro OCs. I made a kind of a Hamtaro comic as a joke while I was bored at work one day, because that's what you do. Well, there I am. Sort of me. This is like a re-envisioning of a costume I used to wear to Metalachi concerts that was intended to... It matched El Kukui's outfit, and so this is just like a variant of that outfit. I never brought the battle axe to concerts. I don't think they would let me into the building with a battle axe. There's some naked ogre man. I don't remember what this was inspired by. I've got some, I don't know, that... We've got what looks like Orthanc, and we got some siege towers. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, this was an idea I never really went anywhere with. So there's that joke about ladies' armor in fantasy settings being inexplicably perfectly molded to their boobs. And how does that work? Well, this was the universe where we've got this lady blacksmith. She is the lady that perfectly sculpts armor based off of your boob size. She's going to do the bra fitting. She's going to make sure it's a perfect size, perfect comfort. She's making the chest armor for ladies. I just never got around to finishing this because it was going to be very background heavy. We've got a forge, we've got armor in the background, and really dense scenes are not something I'm tremendously good at. Okay, we have to get the eraser involved again. We got my boy Lobo. We've also got Nighthawk. That looks like a Sonic OC. Actually, I think this... Let's skip past the Sonic OC. Oh, we got my boy Benji. This is a character in Whoa Awesome Space Babe. This was for something I painted on a skateboard to benefit the Fresno Skateboard Salvage. Oh, this guy turned out badass. I forgot about this dude. Is it charcoal? It's making a mess on this side. I'm not actually sure if this was charcoal or just very, very messy graphite. I do like how this turned out, and this would be very fun to re-envision. Do I have a post-it anywhere? Question is, do I want to just keep the sketchbook out so I remember to do something with this? I don't know. Oh, we've got Nighthawk and his girl Pashmina, and then boobs that I need to cover. This guy's a friend. I don't know what he is. There's going to be a lot of weird, monstrous dudes like that guy. this guy is also a friend. He doesn't look too happy, but I can assure you he is a friend. Got pashmina on the bottom. Okay, if you're wondering why there's swastikas hanging from the chandelier, there is this news story because apparently it was a slow day. This woman who's one of those like objectophiles where they fall in love with inanimate objects. She married like a 90-year-old wall hanging or something. She's in this relationship with it, and some of the people I'm hanging out with online were kind of clowning on her. They should have made the headline something like, "I married Hitler's chandelier." It was, did I say it was a German chandelier? Yeah, 90-year-old German chandelier, and somebody was saying they gotta make it into this big sensational thing. "I married Hitler's chandelier." And so, yeah, sensational romance. I was doing some kind of comic cover. End result wasn't very good, but it is essentially a shit post of an illustration. Nothing super exciting here. Except I don't know what the hell. Did I like set a cookie on my sketchbook? What did I do? Why am I like this? Okay, there's more Nighthawk. This is kind of his outfit on his home planet. If you can call it an outfit rather than harness, and there's boots. I really do like how this turned out. I feel like that one leg looks way too small because foreshortening is difficult, but there's a lot of things I like about how this turns out. I'm actually pretty into it. This is some assorted Animal Crossing nonsense. That's my own character as she looked kind of towards the start of the game. There's my boy, Zipper Bunny, whatever his name is. He's a friend. This must have been around Easter. I mean, partly because we got Zipper there, the Easter Bunny. I remember being super, super proud of her face. I don't know if you can even read, but I was writing down notes about skateboard wheels also. That's interesting. Here's some actual art. Here's some fine art I was studying based off of. I'm assuming that is from, the name has completely escaped me, but it's a Peter Paul Rubens painting, and it is one I'm really fond of. Pretty sure that's what I was referencing. And I do really like to do sketches based off of Renaissance art because there's some really, really beautiful poses. You can get some great anatomy practice. And you could also just draw completely stupid garbage. Okay, Charles of Rockman Boob Party. This is a little bit of an inside joke based off of a live stream they were doing. I wish I had done a moderately less terrible job at this drawing because I did end up coloring it in and it looks horrendous, but it's funny. It's essentially just a shit post. Actually, here's the whole gang as the lineup was at the time. Shadows of Rock. I do really like how that turned out. I think Ricky turned out the best. That's a fantastic Ricky. I like Ricky. And then my boy Mavero, he's always so handsome, but I like how these turned out. I like the limited color palette. That actually worked very well. Tingle is here. Yo, we got an orc. I had fun with this one. I liked doing the hatching and crap. That's a cool piece. Okay, we're gonna skip Naked Dracula, and we're gonna instead look at Waluigi Vincent Price, because that seemed like a good idea. I just noticed that. So this is Wario Tingle. Wario Tingle, when they're fused together, they become Wangle. And Nintendo, if you're watching this, I want to see the presence of Wangle in one of your future games. I think that would be pretty fantastic. These are characters that were supposed to be in Whoa Awesome Space Babe, and they just haven't showed up yet. Maybe they have been named, though. Commander Donahue has been named, but she hadn't showed up yet. And Empress Polydora Ferox. If I do anything with Whoa Awesome Space Babe in the future, because I've said before, I got really burnt out on the comic. I don't know what the future is of the series. I don't know what it's going to be at this point. This is a character that I absolutely would like to do things with because she's been in my head for so long. I want to do something with her. Oh, this was actually a commission. This is some more Animal Crossing stuff. This must have been... This is basically when New Horizons came out, because that is definitely my New Horizons character, along with a few of my other villagers. Yo, we got Julie Strain in Heavy Metal 2000. Not a good movie, but I am obsessed with the comic adaptation. I am obsessed with all of Simon Bisley's art. For the movie or otherwise. I'm just obsessed with Simon Bisley in general. I think her legs are a little short. I know in the original illustration she was significantly more leggy, and now she's very torso heavy. Not quite as leggy as she could be, but I do like how this turned out. I've drawn Julie a few times to varying levels of success. I might have... Oh my gosh. This 30-second drawings, I might have been playing along with a Drawfee episode. I think that's what I was doing here. Maybe. Yo, we got Lobo! I love to draw Lobo. He is a beautiful, sexy man. I can't draw guns. That just looks like a stack of boxes. That kind of looks like a gun. I got something there. There's a lot of boobs on that page. That's actually a piece I was really... Oh, that's actually... Okay, what's on the next page... I'll show a little bit here. Actually, here. I'll just show the whole page, whatever. This is the... It's like the second version of the Celtic Warrior illustration that I've done several times. The first one was terrible. Second one I was super, super proud of when I did it. The third one that I've done... I think it's one of the best pieces I've done. I'm super, super proud of that. So this is something that has been redone multiple times over the course of a few years. And, oh my goodness, this is a character that I absolutely need to redraw because I am currently rewatching Naruto. And this was me kind of recreating a Naruto OC I had back in the day. She is essentially a terrible self-insert character, but I was trying to make her a little more interesting. I mean, I made her slightly edgy because she got like the trip pants, but I just think it looks cool. This doesn't look like a whole lot, but I actually did a little bit of woodworking and I made a tiny little skateboard rack. Actually, let me get it. Alright, here it is. This little piece of crap doesn't fit on here, but... And I am missing a board because I have it in my backpack. I'll bring it to work with me. But I did make a little skateboard rack for my tech decks. I got my knuckles. My orc guy. This one's actually not a tech deck. This is a Pokemon fingerboard with Mewtwo, because hell yeah, this thing actually is completely terrible. The wheels are atrocious. I've tried to fix it, but I don't care. I'm happy because it's a freaking Mewtwo fingerboard, and that is very cool. This is actually, this is another Whoa Awesome Space Babe thing that you don't really get to see in the comic, as I was sketching out what all the characters' apartments looked like. This was kind of a Meet the Artist. Let me throw my pens on the floor again. There we go. This is a Meet the Artist piece that I did again for 2020. I just had some random fun facts about me. Okay. I can't turn the page. Do I have enough erasers? Give me a second. Okay, well, he is covering himself here, but he's just not doing a very good job, so we are going to have an eraser. I don't know. I like how this pose turned out. I do like the sketches. Now, can I turn the page? Hold on. Yo, we got my boy, Frank Zappa. I don't remember if there was a specific reason. Oh, this was for, Brain Fart Comics 3, I'm pretty sure that was my Frank Zappa cover. Do I have an issue on hand? Alright, yes I do. This is the cover for Brain Fart Comics Number 3. I think I have sold out of this issue. Actually, there was a Charos of Rock interview, and then I had to issue an addendum that they changed their name, and so all their socials are wrong. But yeah, this was the sketch for this zine cover. Oh, I'm gonna have PTSD. These are notes for the Wogglebug movie I made. This is just part of my massive pile of notes. I don't know how I made that. I really don't actually know how to animate. This was something I did frame by frame in GIMP and then assembled basically in the Windows free video software. And that was a process that I think drove me mad. This is Tyler from Heavy Metal 2000. I love his design in the comics. I feel like in the actual movie, the art wasn't as cool as in the comic adaptation. It's really the comic adaptation I'm obsessed with. I do not know why there's like... I don't know why the paper is turning these weird colors. It makes me want to go through my old sketchbooks and make sure there's not just moisture wound up on something. This is actually was in my zine at some point. My little bear friend. I can't turn the page. I don't have enough erasers to deal with that. There, okay, here we go. Now we're back to normal things. This is the second batch of Inktober illustrations to be featured in this same sketchbook, and I was following somebody's prompt list. I don't remember what it was called, but they gave a lot of... It was all fantasy settings, and so it basically was going to be background practice, which I really wanted to do. I wonder, was I using things that came out of an Art Snack? I don't know if it came out of an Art Snacks box. I don't remember now. But I was using more dip pens, trying to get a little more experimental. This piece, I like how this one turned out. This is actually based off of a photo I took in my hometown where people just were making a bunch of these random rock cairns. I don't remember if I ended up posting this one. I think I decided to post this as Southern Plains. You will see some pieces I did and then just immediately hated, and so I redid them. Which, never be afraid to just completely redo something if looking at it makes you want to vomit, because it's just more practice. Let's see. Do I have anything really exciting to say other than the fact that I liked doing these things? I'm going to cover that just because it's cringy, not because it's even inappropriate. It's just, that's cringy. Oh, this piece, I like how that turned out. I think that was one of my stronger pieces. A couple of these are just super, super simple, and so I wasn't as happy with how they turned out. I still kind of do like how my pen... painterly isn't the word I'm looking for. Whatever the pen equivalent of the term painterly would be. Oh, this is a bunch of random assorted thing. Okay, I did this picture of Billy Idol, and this was supposed to be just like a super simple sketch to plan it out, and I was going to sketch it out larger on a different piece of paper, and for some reason I decided I'm actually going to just trace over this exactly and ink it in. And so when you've got an inked illustration that goddamn small, it doesn't look very good when you scan it and try to color it in. So I like to work small. This is too small. Don't actually do that. The final piece, I think, actually looks pretty good. The perspective is pretty cool. It's something that would be fun to redraw at some point in the future and just make a little bit better. I was, by the profanity down here, you can tell I was losing my patience with dip pens. It was not a good day. Some more Inktober. You'll notice I do add alcohol markers into a lot of my Inktober. Oh my goodness, there's Scrappy Doo that I was attempting to make look less incredibly, incredibly punchable. Oh goodness. Okay, don't worry. I got an eraser. That's not even the worst thing about this piece. The worst thing about this piece that this is Karis from the 1958 version of The Mummy, which you might know is played by Christopher Lee. So apologies to Christopher Lee for this image. I do think it's tasteful nudity, it's artistic, but still. Okay, moving on. We have another illustration of Karis. He surprisingly did not. I think I have some workable fixative on this, and that's why he didn't smudge. I don't know why I ended up with this weird. You might be able to see that there is this weird white line that's running across the image. I do not know how that happened. I do really like how this turned out. Christopher Lee was very beautiful in this movie. Not so much when he was wrapped up and mummified, but very lovely in this movie. Now we get some Christmas. Complete change of pace. These are some tiny little ornaments that I made for my little tree, and then I did make somebody a Christmas card with a picture of my cat. So there are some little cat illustrations. Oh, we have Christopher Lee with his clothes on. Well, actually, we don't really know that. He's got the shirt on. He could have no pants. We have no idea. This was done with some oil-based colored pencils that I have, and I do really like how this turned out. This is, of course, is Francisco Scaramanga from Man with the Golden Gun. I like how it turned out. Somebody told me they thought his lips looked Botoxed, and it's like, no. I don't know, man. I like how he turned out. It's all good. Do I need erasers for that? It's hard to tell when I'm sketching. You're all good. Oh, was this when this is when I was just starting out my plans to do Gobliterated as a every other week comic. Gobliterated originally started as a comic strip in the Hail Yourself Metal zine, so it was something that was kind of in syndication. The zine kind of came to an end after 3 issues, and I figured I can still do something with this comic strip. So I was running the comic strip maybe 2 or so years, and just recently I decided I gotta take a little bit of a breather. I gotta take a break from doing comics. This is how you know how long the sketchbook took. This is my 2021 self-portrait. I did that in Copic markers, and then I have, it might be oil pastel in the background. What do I got? I got more Gobliterated. Just some general plans and notes for my characters. Okay, we got some more Nighthawk. We got kind of a future interpretation of Benji. Benji was going to go through a pretty dramatic transformation at some point. Do I need any erase? I mean, technically her boobs are covered. It's just her outfit is sheer. She actually exists in the Well Awesome Space Babe universe, but I didn't know how much of a part she was going to play in the story. Okay, we're fine. I just saw Sylvando and wasn't sure how much he was wearing here. This seems to be just a lot of random spiders. A lot of little spidery friends. Alright, we got some Hammer horror babes, ladies that have appeared in the Hammer films. Veronica Carlson is actually no longer with us. I feel like she passed. Not. It wasn't after I had drawn this. I don't remember exactly. It was after I had watched something with her in it. It was very soon after. Somehow, okay, we got some more Wogglebug movie plans. I'm so glad that I am done with that movie and never have to think about it ever again. I was going mad. And for some reason, Dracula is here. I don't know. Oh, we got some awesome Space Babe here again. I decided I was going to change up their outfits at some point. I think this is partly the reason that I got kind of tired of what I was doing currently in the comic, is that I already had plans to kind of retcon things. It was more like a soft reset. Nothing was really going to change except for the characters' outfits, which that's not a whole lot to change. Do I need to... Yeah, Sylvando's everything's covered. It's just... I don't know, man. This is going to mark about when I was playing Dragon Quest XI. So you're going to get some Sylvando illustrations. Can I? No, I'm not turning the page. Well, there's some normal Sylvando. That's all good. This is him without his beautiful makeup on. Oh, and then this was plans in anticipation of the new sketchbook, trying to decide what I was going to put on the cover. And I decided we're just going to have Eddie. That's all good. Eddie is fucking cool. And then we've got some Nighthawk up in here. I'm gonna post the finished picture because I did really like how it turned out. I did the line art in a different sketchbook, and it ended up not being the best paper to use. So really, this would have been the better place to do some proper inked line art, because this paper can handle ink a lot better. This, oh my goodness, I gotta show you what the final result of this was. All right. This, I was blessed with a completely unpainted set of nesting dolls sent to me by my cousin, and I had a very good time with this. So this right here, that's a terrible screechy noise. This is the son of Sasquatch, but he does contain multitudes. So within the son of Sasquatch, as I'm calling him, we've got... what did I end up calling this guy? I'm going to call him Blobson. I don't remember if I gave anybody specific names. But we've got our blobby dude within Blobson. We've got this lovely lady. She's going to fall on the floor. There we go. Ah! We're stuck. This yellow dude. For some reason, I distinctly remember that I was painting these while watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't know why that has stuck in my mind. The idea with this guy is you were supposed to be able to open him up a little bit and just shuffle him around, because he's got 3 eyes and 3 mouths, so he's kind of mix and match. And then within it all is contained the little demon baby, a little guy, a little friend. So this was a delight to create. This was fun to plan, fun to make. And I believe that does in fact bring us to the end of the sketchbook. So this was fun to look through, though I did have to... erasers were involved. I hope you guys enjoyed looking through that also. I think I'm actually going to show my last sketchbook. I'm going to do that in a second video because we're already kind of coming up onto 40 minutes here. So stay tuned for a part 2, and thank you guys for watching.